everybody, and welcome back to the Blossom Review. How are you? Today we're talking about a proper romance, like proper, as in super sweet and adorable and cute. We're talking about Fuji TV's A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You, a 10-episode adaptation of Nishigahachi's manga of the same name, which aired in Japan from April to June 2025. So A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You follows the life of a young married couple in pre-war Japan. And that's pretty much it, really. Unraveling at a very peaceful rhythm and completely focusing on the romance between its protagonists, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You is the quintessence of an innocent, heartwarming, slice-of-life love story. There are no major twists and turns, no dragged-out conflicts, no villains. This is the story of two people who, according to the customs of the time, were faced with an arranged marriage. And even though their relationship wasn't exactly their own choice, they decided to build a healthy bond of consideration and care. And this is what the series is really about what it means to create a romantic relationship from scratch and what it takes to foster it. This review is spoiler-free, so if you haven't watched the show yet, don't worry, just follow me. So A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You takes us back to 1936, thanks to the helpful guidance of a Benshi played by Namase Katsuhisa. If you are new to the term, Benshi were artists who provided films with live narration back in Japan's silent film era. Our Benshi introduces us to the cheerful Natsumi, played by Yoshine Kyoko, the third of four daughters from the Sekiya family. Barely 3 minutes into the first episode, we witness Natsumi's father inform her that her marriage has been arranged and the ceremony is to take place the following week. So boom, boom, boom. No time to waste here. A mere 2 minutes later, and Natsumi is now married to the sub-lieutenant of the Imperial Navy, Ebata Takemasa, played by Honda Kyoya. Takemasa is a charming yet stoic young man, and as expected from two people who have never met before but are now forced to live together, they struggle to find their rhythm at first. Just like any other couple, harmony doesn't come to them naturally, but they are willing to work on it. It's a very awkward, very silly, and yet very sweet, sometimes even sickly sweet process. A sort of fairy tale in which the red thread of fate has miraculously brought these two kindred spirits together. Bit by bit, we observe as Natsumi and Takemasa establish a connection through open communication, kindness, and consideration. Several small inner and interpersonal conflicts, which are always very quickly resolved, serve as stepping stones towards a more honest, more supportive, and stronger relationship. They soon learn that their harmony lies in gratitude towards each other's efforts, respect for each other's timing, and willingness to open up. It is through their dedication to their relationship that A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You illustrates how love is fostered by the mundane moments we spend together. Despite their struggles, Takemasa and Natsumi have a promise to always return to each other and cherish every instance they get together. Their daily interactions then gain a magical quality, let's say, one that we fail to notice in our own everyday lives. Their shared breakfasts, their walks around town, their childlike misadventures, they all symbolize the miracle of being present in an existence marked by transience. Throughout its 10 episodes, Takemasa and Natsumi build a household and a relationship that represent them as individuals, going against many of the standard conventions of the time. They have very kind, very sensitive souls that value each other's goals and skills, but they also count on a very, very healthy support system that allows the show to breathe a little bit. Takemasa and Natsumi are surrounded by friends and family who honestly care about them. These people encourage them to communicate, give them a hand during hard times, and most importantly, help them see each other and their marriage from a different perspective. A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You isn't just about romantic love then. It's about platonic and familial love too. Romance, family, and friendship are all essential elements of this story, moving the narrative forward and igniting the character arcs of our protagonists. Both Natsumi and Takemasa can be shy and clumsy, but they are well-intentioned. Within their marriage, they want to fulfill their roles well. But what does it mean to be a good husband or a good wife? Back in 1936, you could say that gender roles were terribly unequal and sexist. But surprisingly enough, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You manages to acknowledge the customs of the time while imposing its own rules, imposing its own perspective on it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You manages to be a fairly feminist story set in pre-war Japan. Now, remember the Banshee I mentioned before? So I think the Banshee is actually the first tool that helps reframe this 1936 story through more gender equal lenses, let's say. The Banshee not only allows for a more immersive setting, but it also offers extra explanations about old traditions. But most importantly, the Banshee in A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You often represents the reactions and thoughts of the audience, helping reduce the discomfort that modern viewers can feel sometimes while watching the show. Because sometimes it is a little bit uncomfortable to watch A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You, because you have Natsumi in one of the earlier episodes saying things like, I am to work for this man being her husband. People had a striking lack of knowledge about sexuality. Intimacy was an uphill battle. Marriage was only a means through which people could propagate the family line. However, as the story unravels, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You demonstrates that yes, society is very sexist, but within their homes, it's up to our characters to define more equal dynamics. For example, unlike many men in the 1930s, Takemasa never treats Natsumi as if she's his property or as if she's below him in any way. He's all about consent and shared decisions and sincere apologies and gratitude towards Natsumi's support and dedication to housework. Guys, can you see that the sun is now out? The weather is not helping me today, is it? Natsumi's arc is intrinsically connected to the portrayal of gender roles in A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You. You can see how women, when they are taught they are supposed to be subservient, might find this dynamic fairly natural. Sexism becomes ingrained in her habits because she believes this is what society expects of her. But throughout the show, it is the incredible Ikuko played by Wakuyemi, the marvelous Fumiko played by Yamamoto Maika, and of course Takemasa himself, who show Natsumi that a home is maintained by both men and women, and that she's equally worth of respect. A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You is marked by a solid and supportive community of women, Fumiko encourages Natsumi to stand up for herself. Ikuko teaches her that healthy relationships are established by equality, saying, although we Navy wives are below third-class officers outside the home, within the home we are only below Her Majesty the Empress herself. This is quite nice to hear in a show set in 1936. It's quite refreshing, to be honest. Another very important dynamic that balances this story is the relationship between our second couple. While our protagonists feel too pure and perfect at times, it is the romance between Natsumi's friend Fumiko and Takimasa's colleague Fukami, played by Koseki Yuta, that gives the show a more natural element. Fukami and Fumiko feel more three-dimensional as their personalities stray from the overly virtuous, let's say, characterization that is given to Natsumi and Takimasa. Fumiko is a young working woman who isn't interested in marriage. She's very keen to defend her own values and desires. In the same way, Fukami isn't keen to marry either. And he's also very assertive. So they both have very, very strong personalities that clash and complement one another. And it's an absolute joy to see their relationship evolve. I think they were my favorite characters probably in the show. It is very nice and it is refreshing to see these two people compare. They are so different from our protagonists and they really create this balance. So they balance the sweetness a little bit. But most importantly, their courtship is one that balances societal expectations and their own personal ideas of gender roles, giving the story yet another example of how feminism can be reinterpreted, let's say, even in a story set in a more antiquated period. So the final question is, should you watch A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You? A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You can be a tad saccharine, but it is still a wholesome, gentle and inspiring love story. Embracing the essence of both a slice of life and a romance, this is a story that encourages us to appreciate the moments we get to spend with our loved ones and to work more actively to foster healthy, supportive relationships with the people around us. Charming in its utopian innocence and resolute in its retelling of gender expectations in pre-war Japan, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You offers the comfort of an endearing romance with a fresh perspective on culture and customs. Just keep in mind that humor here is created through fairly exaggerated anime-like reactions, especially from its female protagonist. But if you don't mind that and you are looking for an adorable, amusing romance, A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You might be exactly what you need. A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You is available on Viki. Guys, quick reminder that this review is also on the Blossom Review, but on the Blossom Review, this review is a little bit longer, so we talk a little bit more about the technical side of the show. So if you would like to give it a read, I'll leave a link in the description. I really hope that you like this video and you subscribe so I can see you here every week for a new review. Thank you so very much. Take very good care of yourself and I'll see you very soon. Big kiss.